We don't measure by personal injection or what we think is should be or what. But here's the numbers. They are what they are, and you can't sugarcoat them any other way. But 19 of 149 vehicle visors were tire related. That is not so bad, you would think, at 13%. But it's 13% that can be avoided. When you couple that with the brakes, there's 51% of our violations is two items, right? And so, two areas that we can definitely focus on and kick in the butt is brakes and tires. And and yes, we know there's certain things. We're not asking you to crawl under there, but there's certain tests. There's certain air brake tests or air tests. There's certain double, doing that safety tugs. There's things you can do that can tell you that you may have a brake problem, and then all it is a macro 39 saying, "Hey, I did this, and this is what happened. I need to get the brakes looked at." Absolutely right. In most cases, as a driver shared with us at our 10:30 call, FMCSA call this morning, um, a lot of times they'll do them for free, or at a very minuscule cost. If you've already got to have a tire, anytime you get a tire checked, and you look at that the inspection on the trailer, hey, if it's over 7, 8 months, right, since the last inspection, and you're there to get the tires, ask them if they could just check the brake adjustment while you're there. Maybe that's the thing. Hey, anytime we get a tire, we have the brakes checked. Or anytime you're in a garage, we ask to have the brake adjustments measured and just see. And a lot of times they're already getting their money from the other repair. They may do it free. So, just some things that words of advice that we can do to help our company stay down in that acceptable green area. Out of service violations are critical to our selection process with who they decide to pull in, what carriers, and it's also huge in our insurance. So again, make sure that we are checking the brakes and tires really closely. Remember, difference between looking and inspecting. Inspecting is you're looking for something wrong. So make sure that we're looking for something wrong. Then we're truly inspecting the equipment. And folks, I'm just going to tell you, if you do one in 8.5 minutes, you did not do a good pre-trip, or you did not do a legal one, right? Because you have to log all that time on duty. So 8 minutes is not enough to do a good pre-trip. It may be okay to do a post-trip in that because you've got less things to check. But when you start your day, any day with a new piece of equipment or an old one from overnight, you've got to make sure something didn't change. And that pre-trip is critical because that's before you start your day. Hey, just a notice, if you will. Many of you may or may not have saw it, but on your driver tech, there is a notification that, hey, effective September 1st, nobody can edit your driveline. This is kind of a FMCSA. I know we're vetting some other ELD devices just to see if there's better technology out there than what we've got. And all of them are not allowing anybody to edit your logs. This is critical. So the excuses of "I forgot" has to go away. You have to slow down, think about what you're doing. When you're doing your logs, that's no different than driving behind the wheel. You have to be focused on what you're doing. This is your livelihood. This is your job. You have to know that I'm getting ready to drive and I'm in the right driving mode. You have to know that, hey, I know I'm tired, but I got to do a post trip and I have to log it correctly. And I have to make sure that I'm off duty or in the sleeper berth. Whatever you're wanting to do, you just got to make sure that you do it. Because as of September 1st, as I said, you will have to, because we won't have an option. Now you're going to have these violations, which we can't live with in an audit. So again, it's another a thing that we're going to have to be on our drivers and educate them about. Everybody should know how to log. I mean, it's not that hard. And again, this is guidance from the FMCSA. So you can go to their website and even check on that. But notification of upcoming change to prohibit editing HOS drive time. So that's in response to guidance from the FMCSA. So many of the ELD devices are going to this. This is something that's coming down, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. They want the driving accurate. So, folks, those of you that have found ways to finagle stuff, keep in mind, just because you found them doesn't make it right. We've talked about this subject many, many times. And right now, it's either you don't care and you're going to do what you want, or, you just don't care about the company. And we really want you here. We want you here, but we want you here if you care about our culture and protecting this company. If you don't, that's okay to have that opinion, but just go do it somewhere else. That's all we're asking. What we want is everybody here committed. You know, you saw over the winter where the safety department was committed to you all, you know, staying up and just doing the things that were committed to our drivers. And so we're just asking for that same commitment in return. And again, you're doing it because we are at 92 days and 7 with Get Out and Look. So 92, we are a little over a week away from the big 100. So great job, everybody. And with that, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with some weather. Right. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I'm not as good as the producer to figure out how to get this. Oh, there we go. All right. Hey, Fred is up here in Pennsylvania, New York now, about to be nothing more than just a rainstorm. You can see kind of similar today, not quite as wide of area that we had in the Dallas area. So just some scattered showers all the way up to Memphis and moving into Kentucky. And then back here along the mountain ranges, you know, Arizona, New Mexico, up into Utah, we've got some rain. And then again, up in Montana. None in the help for the firefighters. Folks, that Dixie fire is nowhere closer. 31% contained. That's what it's been for almost a week now. But the acreage has now climbed to 626,000 acres. So again, last year they had one that almost reached 1 million. So we got to pray for those people out there and that the firefighters get some kind of release. They're not going to get it from rain. What are they getting from the wind? Actually not horrible up there. It is right in this area. We'll zoom in there. There's Susanville. So right here is where them fires are. But you can see there's some 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts. So not a whole lot of help, but also not that 45 to 50 would just make it impossible and risk a bunch of lives. The big winds, as you can see, are down here in Nevada, Arizona, and southern Utah. With current, there's a bunch of yellow. So right here at St. George, right, Utah, 39 mile an hour gusts. Here, 32. 34 in Kingman, Arizona. So again, we're looking at that mid to upper 30s with the wind gusts. There's a 39 up there also in Utah. 45 at the regional airport in, what is that, Cedar City. So again, we've got some strong winds, 45 mile an hour wind gusts. Folks, that's current. That is not to be driven on. Again, this is not an area I don't think we get into a whole lot. So just be mindful of it. Here's one out in Southern California, 34 with a 41 mile an hour gust. So not a big gust, but just some strong winds down there in Southern California. And again, the rest of the country, you can see in the mid 30s. Out here, out in front of Fred, here's the circular. So Fred out there on the eastern side of it could see some 40 mile an hour wind gusts. So just be mindful of that. But overall, not too bad. As we go through and tomorrow morning, you can see they die down considerably. And then tomorrow afternoon, that's a little later. Tomorrow afternoon, it kicks up kind of in the same area. It moves a little bit out of Vegas and Nevada and shifts a little bit eastward. So mainly going to be Utah, Colorado, northern Arizona. Could see some strong winds. And then not much going on. You can see this is tomorrow evening. Here's Henri, the tropical storm Henri, down here in Bermuda. Not supposed to do much on landfall. It's supposed to just drift a little bit and then hook clockwise out. But here's Grace down there. Tomorrow afternoon should be going through Merida. I don't know how you pronounce that E with the little hyphen over it. So sorry about that, everybody. But you can see it crosses the peninsula there and heads towards Mexico. This evening, it's just it's right here south of Havana, just off the shore or the coast of Mexico there. And currently, you can see it spinning. But man, I wonder what some of them winds are in there. And we can zoom in maybe and see. There's Not much gusting there. 66-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Anything stronger? 65. So right now it's about 10 miles away per hour from becoming a hurricane strength winds, and that is expected to do so over the next few days. So again, this is the one. It shouldn't hit the U.S. at all. Shouldn't have any issues there. Just again, remember the fires out in California. Don't drive in Northern California. Get with safety. Let's talk about if we've got a safe path for you to travel. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with some videos.
Good morning and welcome to Rapid Fire. Today we are joined by Ben. This should be fun. Have you ever tasted soap?
No.
Do you currently own any stuffed animals?
Yes.
Can you tell us what they are?
Bears, I guess.
Fun. Polka dots or stripes?
Polka dots.
Would you go to a movie alone?
Yes.
What's a country you'd be okay never visiting in your life?
Spain.
Would you eat a day-old taquito from 7-Eleven?
No.
And for a journal, would you use paper or a computer?
Paper.
Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable?
Fruit.
And finally, Super Mario Brothers or Zelda?
Mario Brothers.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, and we've got Video Dale here ready to show you some videos, folks.
And they're not my videos. There's some excellent drivers here. You know, we got some great videos. Like I said, the number of videos was way down yesterday, which tells me we have a lot of drivers just doing a lot of things right. Put this video on here because here's a driver doing a lot of things right. Obviously, we're going slower than the flow of traffic. Traffic is pulling away from us. We have a merge point, and so those people coming on, you know, have plenty of opportunity to merge. Our driver's not in a hurry. We're not stressing out here. So just a really nice job. Shows what happens, you know, if we relax, take our time, drive a couple miles an hour slower, people go away, and Bob said it before, you can't have a rear end accident if people are pulling away from you.
Yep.
It just doesn't happen. So,
Yep.
you know, this is just a great example. You know, it's a rainy day here in Dallas, and so the next two, and I didn't put these on because of that, but just happened to be that way. We get a chance to see, you know, our drivers are listening, doing what they know they should be doing. You know, speed limit here is 60 miles an hour. We see a sign right up at the beginning of it. Speed limit 60 miles an hour. We're running about 50 miles an hour. And granted, there's not a lot of traffic out there, but still doing what's the right thing is, slowing down for weather and road conditions. Just a great thing because, you know, as we drive slower, you know, it doesn't take, you know, rain takes longer for us to stop in. You know, we have a loss of traction. And when we drive slower, that gives us more time to process what's going on, big picture thing, make good decisions. So this is just, you know, a couple of these videos here are just wonderful examples of what our drivers are doing out there.
Yeah, and we had some great discussion this morning on this one because you can see the glossy area on the right under these overpasses. There's a lot of times there's a little dip there. And so water is going to stand there more than almost any other place on the highway. And we talked this morning about the highways being domed slightly. You know, it's hard to see as you're going down it because it's a gradual dome, but it's just enough so that they want the water to run off of the roadway. And unfortunately, that's going to collect under that overpasses, and in this case on the right. And our driver was in the center lane, so great situational awareness. One of the drivers brought up a great point. Say, you got to still be mindful, even though you're in the middle, because some four-wheelers going to come up there, not be paying attention to the situation that there's potential water puddle there, and they could spin out right in front of you or into you. Wouldn't be your fault, but again, we want to protect all life.
Yeah. You know, and again, this is, you know, we've made adjustments for the rain, and it's just great. You know, people are pulling away from us. Terrific. Speed management, you know, just taking all the things into effect. You know, it just, you know, makes it so much easier to drive when you're going a little bit slower, when you've got everything a little more manageable. And when something happens, if you have to do that stop or if you have to change lanes, you're at a speed that it's more manageable at. Just a great example here.
Yep.
You know, like this video here, man, there is a lot going on when you stop and look at it and break it down. You know, the first thing we see are some cones and some barrels. We're in a construction site. You have an off ramp, and then just about as soon as you have that off ramp, you have an on ramp, and obviously with very short merge lanes. You know, and then I point out this morning, when you see a lot of black tire marks, brake marks on a pavement, you got to know that there's something critical happening here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of black marks here, and what it is it's a very short merge lane. You know, our driver is in the right lane. Speed is very manageable, but it just goes to show, you know, got to have that big picture, the situational awareness, what's going on around you. You know, and if we watch this truck that's going to come up right about there, he's probably doesn't have that situational awareness, because that's probably a pretty hard break to let that vehicle get out there. And so good job on our driver's part, looking at the big picture, watching what's going on.
Yeah, and this driver called me, was talking about this, and you know, we talked about if we had to nitpick, we would say, hey, just stop. He said he was actually almost stopped, and then he saw that that truck was actually finally going to stop and let him through. So, yeah, great situational awareness. This is why we have to slow down in construction zones,
Yep.
especially because these merge points, sometimes they're hidden.
Yeah, that's not a long merge point at all when you look
No.
at that one. And like I said, so much going on with that construction. This is the things you get into. You know, like I said, I hate having to show videos like this because we just we come blazing up there and we just roll right through the stop sign. It is not safe. It is against the law. We cannot have this type of action. I mean, it doesn't give you a chance to look both left and right because you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, you're already saying, I don't care.
Yeah.
You run that stop sign, you're saying it's some more. And so how much time did you really have to take a look and see if anybody's coming, that second look? And so drivers just, you know, stop means stop, whether there's people around or whether there's people watching you or not. It's the right thing. It's the law. It should be a habit.
Yeah, great points. So, yeah, if you got any comments on these videos, we'd love to hear about it. Your thoughts, your best practices. You know, so, you know, kind of raise your hand. The producer will call on you. But again, some great videos there, everybody. And that's what we want to focus on.
Yeah.
Yes, we're addressing the stop sign. So just want you to know we're here to support you all. And that doesn't just mean in some encouragement stuff. That means backing you up when you're doing your job exactly how we need you to do it and others aren't. You know, we just got to let them know that that's not acceptable. Yeah. We want you here. We want you here, but we want you to do it the BCBs of safety. And most importantly, we want you to do it the safest way. Not a safe way, but the safest way. That's the way you will 100% get out and look. You will 100% slow down and not tailgate, right? Because you're doing it the safest way, not a safe way.
Yeah, you're stopping at every stop sign.
Yes.
I mean, you're anticipating that stale green light. You're preparing for it. You know, but again, just like I said, there's so many good videos. I mean, that we get to show, and it's the drivers learning from each other and teaching each other. And the comments, you know, when they call in and share, you know, best practices, safest ways. This is exciting times, man.
Yep. Great job by our drivers. And again, that's a testament to the 91 days, 2 days, and 7 days of get out and look. So great job at a week. We got anybody, producer? All right. Hey, everybody. Have a blessed day out there. Man, keep it up. Keep striving to be better. That's all we're asking. We're not asking you to be perfect. We're asking you don't accept or set the bars too low. Set it to where you will make the world a safer place. God bless, and we'll talk with everybody tomorrow.